Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce, and today we're doing another indie horror spotlight. Today, I have with us, he is the director of a movie that's in production right now, and there is a finishing Indiegogo up for it, and it's called The Cellar. I have with us today Jamie Langlands. Jamie, welcome to the Horror Room.
Hello, good to be here.
It's a pleasure, man. Coming all the way from the UK.
UK. You been to the UK?
I have not. It is next on my list. I've been to several countries in Europe, but the UK is definitely going to be next on my list.
Calm down, man. We'd love to have you here. You're welcome.
Most definitely. So tell us a little bit about The Cellar.
Okay, so I mean, it started as like a proof of concept short, and I found this really cool location just to shoot this like maybe 10-minute short film on it, and then we found like another really cool location, and then we shot some stuff down there, and we had like by the end of that first shoot day we had like maybe like 15 minutes of footage, and everything looked really cool. And I was thinking, you know what, I could keep this as a short, or I could just make it bigger and just, throw myself into the deep end and make a full like 90-minute feature film. And that's what I did. So, and it's been great. Yeah. It's been exciting.
Amazing. Now, is it tough as a filmmaker? I mean, originally the original concept for this movie, it was a 15-minute short. Now, was it tough to expand that out to a 90-minute fully feature?
No, I mean, once the idea was there in my head, I just sort of felt like I could run with it and just sort of like keep writing and keep making this story bigger. And then, I kind of wrote it with the locations in mind, which kind of worked quite well for this film. So we found like all these like really cool, like dingy, like grim locations. Once the idea was in my head, I just kept writing stuff, kept coming up with more ideas, and it just sort of snowballed. And then we kind of like, the first shoot day, we shot probably less than a page. But we still got like 15 minutes from that. So the pace of it, this film's going to be quite like tense. It's quite slow, but everything every little thing means something in this film. It could be like a little tiny thing, but it has significance. So it kind of worked to keep it at this slow pace. And like right now, I think the script is only like 25 minutes long. But I know it's when we get everything together, I know it's going to be like 85, maybe 90 minutes.
Now, without giving anything away, can you tell my audience a little bit about what they're going to expect when they watch The Cellar?
A lot of tension, a lot of atmosphere. Without saying too much, it's okay. So basically, the premise is this gal kind of wakes up in this cell underground. She has no idea how she found herself in this cell, and she's got to escape the cell. Once she does that, she starts uncovering a lot of other details, and then she slowly kind of starts working out exactly what's going on. So it's basically a story of a gal that's got to escape where she's been kidnapped and taken to, and then trying to unravel this whole narrative of how she actually got to where she is. And it kind of explores other things, like there's quite a few kind of elements, like it explores like addiction and like mental health, and there's some like religious elements into it, and like cults, like religious cults. There's kind of a lot of kind of elements going on. So like, I think even if someone isn't like a huge fan of horror film, there's probably going to be something along the way that they can sort of enjoy. from this film, hopefully.
So, I mean, you have a lot of real life situations in this movie, dealing with cults, religion, and, even abduction. Now, did you do any research when you were creating the idea for this movie?
I mean, I watched a lot of stuff on cults, religious cults. I mean, there's some really cool stuff I'm watching now, actually, about, religious kind of cults and different sort of religions, and things like that. And yeah, I mean, there's so many documentaries about this sort of thing. So, I can scroll through like, probably hundreds and hundreds of documentary on cults, basically. And so, yeah, I've done a little bit of that, and kind of done a bit more research into different sort of religions and, things like that. And yeah, that's been, really kind of opened my mind a bit. It's been quite interesting.
I've always been fascinated with cults, especially religious cults. And listen, I never want to join one, and I never want to start one. But I've always been fascinated because, you have one or a couple individuals who are able to, I don't use the word prey, but prey on victims to, and promise to give them something that they're missing in their life, whether it be family, love, whatever. And they're able to prey on that and basically separate them from everyone in their lives, everything they know, and brainwash them and bring them in.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I mean, yeah, exactly. There seems to be like a lot of manipulation that goes on, and like preying on the vulnerable, preying on people that are kind of in a bad place and need something, and they're kind of at a desperate state. And again, with this film, it's like, this cult is preying on people that are suffering, that have addictions. So that's where the whole addiction kind of, and sort of praise on like mental health and that kind of thing sort of come into this film, as well, a little bit,
Now, while you were writing the story, how many times did you? I can pretty sure you're writing, and you're watching something else, and you're like, "Oh, I want to change this." Were there a lot of rewrites in the beginning?
Oh, 100%, yeah. Yeah, like every day, literally every day. I just kind of think of something and then like quickly, write it down, and then start changing stuff. And then I'd send the script out to the actors, and then like the next day I'd change it. And then I'd have like all these different scripts. And then hold on, like this script is different. You got a different script to me. So yeah, I kept changing all sorts of things right up until the day before, we'd shoot something, and then I'd send it out, and then one of the actors wouldn't kind of see it, and then and then there'd be like various scripts floating around.
Now, is it hard as an indie horror filmmaker? I mean, there's tons of indie horror filmmakers out now, which is amazing. There's a lot of indie horror films coming out, but is it tough as an indie horror filmmaker to create to come up with a creative idea like yours and put it out there compared to and be in limbo? I don't know how this is going to go compared to going I should say cookie cutter route that some indie horror filmmakers go, where I'm going to go with something that's already out there. I'm going to do a slasher, a guy with a mask on, which is probably the easiest route to go.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of slasher films out there, and a lot of like indie horror films in general. So it is tough to come up with a brand new idea. I mean, I'd say it'd be a good idea to take an idea and just add different elements and change bits, just so there's a little bit of originality there. Because coming up with like a brand new whole idea would be, I imagine it would be like so difficult, because like there's so many horror films out there.
So
and like this, I mean, this film, I can kind of compare it to other horror films, but with a few other elements added to it.
Now, in the UK, is there a big scene? I'm here in the US and the States, and we love horror here in the States. Is there a big
Yeah,
love for horror in the UK right now as well?
yeah, 100%, 100%. I mean, there's a lot of like horror film festivals in the UK. And yeah, as well, there's a lot of UK horror films. There's a lot of horror films coming out of the UK. Um, and yeah, like again, there's so many. It's like Moby was saying, it's difficult to come up with a brand new idea. You know, but yeah, I know obviously in America there's like a huge market for horror films. There's a hell of a lot of horror fans out there. And yeah, I'd say the UK is not too far behind. You know.
Now, is it tough as a UK horror filmmaker to, I should say, skip over the pond and get your movie seen by um, the audience in the States?
No, definitely not. No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, it's so easy nowadays with all the streaming sites that are out there. As long as you've got some good marketing behind you, I think it's quite easy to get your film out in the US. I mean, I've seen so many UK films that have come over to America on the various streaming sites in America. So yeah, I mean, I'd say there's no real difference to getting a film out in the UK to out in America. I mean, I'd say it's probably easier to get a UK film out in America than it is in the UK.
Now, when you're making your movie, do you think about that American audience?
To be honest, not really. I just think about the horror audience because I don't think there's too much difference. I'm not thinking I've got to add a character that's got an American accent in here or anything like that because I think that I mean, you guys love the British accent anyway, so it's like
I love it. Yes, I
yeah,
wish I had one.
yeah, well, you can get practicing and maybe soon you are.
I used to, by the way, this is all topic. So back in my 20s, I used to go to the bars and clubs, and I used to pretend to have a English accent to pick up chicks,
Okay.
and it actually worked. I was shocked because American women love guys with accents, real or not. And like the UK accent, I guess it was like, oh, this is a black guy with an English accent. But I used to put that on all the time. I can't. Please don't ask me to do it right now. I'm pretty sure it's awful. But like, I
All
was
right.
shocked that like people in this country love accents.
I mean, when I was in America, I noticed that. Like, yeah, I'd say something, and then again, people are like, hey, where's your accent from? Your accent from,
Hmm.
So yeah, like literally every part of America I've been to, yeah, I've kind of seen that as well. I mean, the time I spent in America, when I started speaking, everyone was like, hey, you from Australia, man?
Yeah.
I was like, no, I'm from England.
Ah,
So yeah, they get a bit confused, I think, with Australia and the English accent. Or I don't know.
kind of
maybe I
sounds the
sound
same
like
to us. Yeah.
yeah.
So
So
have you
yeah,
always
that
been a
was
horror?
interesting.
So have you always been a horror fan?
But I've always
Growing
been a
up?
horror fan.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Like, I think when I was probably 8 or 9 years old, my brother, who's a bit older than me, um, made me watch The Exorcist with him
Oh,
when I was like 8 years old. I think since then I've loved horror. I love being scared. But like the older you get, I think, yeah, the older you get, obviously, the less scared you are of horror films. So
yeah.
it's hard nowadays to find a film that's going to really freak me out.
I mean, don't you think? I mean, I think this, but don't you think in order to be a good horror filmmaker, you have to be a huge horror fan?
Oh, yeah, I'd say so. I think so. I mean, there's things obviously you can take from horror films that you're watching as a filmmaker, and not copy, but have that same sort of kind of feeling of the film. You know, when you're watching a film and you get all this sort of tension and atmosphere and stuff, then yeah, you can certainly take those elements and put them into your film. I mean, I think with horror films, like sound, music is like so important. Like, it's vital.
I agree. I mean, you take. I mean, my favorite horror film of all time is Halloween, and just the score in that is more scarier than
Oh,
anything you really see on the screen. I mean, it's just the
yeah,
tension, the and all that is
yeah.
just like it gets you on the edge of your seat.
Oh god, yeah, music certainly adds to the whole emotion. Like, it just heightens everything. It really does. I mean, when I saw Halloween, like the remake, I think it was the
Hmm.
2018 one, I think it was. I
Yes.
watched that in the cinema, and there was that scene when Michael Myers starts walking through that house, and when the music hits, this guy fainted in the cinema.
Ooh.
Uh, they stopped the film, had to stop the film, take the guy out, and then like restart the film again. But yeah, and it was right that bit, like right when the music hit, that's the
Hmm.
bit where he fainted. And I was like, oh my god, like this is, yeah, I never kind of sort of seen that before. I've heard about things like that happening in cinemas. You hear it all the time, like people fainting in cinemas. By the way, usually it's like a marketing, publicity stuff.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, when you see it actually happen, it's yeah, it's an experience. Yeah,
Yeah, because I mean, there's something about it. I mean, everybody knows Halloween. They know that, right? But there's a point when you know he's in the room or he's in the vicinity, and it's just that it's like slide across the piano. When you hear
mm.
that, it fucking like
Oh
you're
god,
like,
yeah,
oh
you know,
shit, something is he's about to hurt somebody. He's
yeah,
in the
yeah,
vicinity.
yeah, the music tells you. The music tells you, yeah. I mean, with this film, I've got a really good composer on board. Um, and you know, there's so many people that from America as well that have reached out to me and been like, "Oh man, I'd love to do the music for this film. You know, do you need music? Because if you do, they've sent me all this stuff that they've done before." So that's the one kind of role that people have like really wanted to get on board with the score and the composing.
It's one of the most important parts of a horror movie. I think it's my opinion.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, I agree, 100%.
Now, you actively have a Indiegogo campaign up right now for the finishing funds. Tell everyone
Yeah.
some of the amazing perks that you're offering.
So you've got like the producer perks. I mean, you could be executive producer, associate producer, um, co-producer. You could be in the film. I mean, there's, part of this film, there's a lot of missing people in this film that go missing, and there's like, there's a couple of points where the lead stumbles across, you know, certain missing person posters, which is a big moment of the film. So one of the perks I put is, you can actually have your face on one of these posters, being the main character in the film. I mean, in the credits as well. A pivotal point. So, and I think people love that. So those sort of perks people have kind of snapping up. So they love that sort of thing. Other things like, the behind the scenes footage and photos, unit stills, so thank you credits, things like that. And then, like, again, we like giving away things that have been in the film, like costumes, the clapperboard as well. We kind of I can get the cast to kind of sign it, so things like that. I mean, when I started it, I think I had like 6 perks, and now I've just kept adding perks. When I think it's something people might kind of appreciate, I kind of add that as a perk.
Now, I have a question, and I'm asking this for myself and everyone else. If I go into your Indiegogo right now and there's a perk and it's crossed out, which means I guess it's sold out. If someone's still interested in that, if they message you, could you open it up for them or no?
Sorry, I lost you a little bit there. Just
Oh,
repeat that
okay.
one.
Okay. All right, so I'm asking this for everyone, but I'm also asking for myself too. So if someone goes onto your Indiegogo, and let's say there's no more of the signed script left, if somebody was still interested in that, can they message you and you can work that out still?
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. I mean, things like that. Like if they all go, I can just add more. So like if they all, yeah, if someone gets them all and wants them, and they run out, then I just add more to the Indiegogo, you know. So that stuff like that isn't a problem. I mean, obviously stuff with like costumes, things like that. When they're gone, they're kind of gone. But yeah, I mean, scripts, I can just keep printing more and more scripts and like signing them. Like photos as well, I can just keep printing photos and so yeah, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, I've had people message me privately about certain perks. And yeah, I mean, and everybody's sort of welcome to kind of ask me whatever they want, and even suggest other perks I can add. You know, that's obviously,
Nice.
then that'd be great. You know.
Awesome. Well, listen, everyone, go down into the description box, and the link for the Indiegogo is right down there. So make sure to go ahead and check it out and donate. Jamie, where can everyone find you, my friend?
They can find me on Facebook. They can find me on Instagram. They can find me on Twitter or X. They can find me on IMDb. I mean, these days you can find anyone. Google me. I mean, there's no hiding these days.
None at all. None at
I mean, yeah, just anywhere.
Awesome. But Jamie, it's been an absolute blast having you on, and you're more than welcome to come on anytime, my friend. Everyone, go out
Awesome.
and support the Indiegogo for the Cellar, and also look out for the Cellar as well, and follow Jamie on social media so you can keep track of when the movie is released. All right, everyone. Well, thank you for coming to the Horror Room. I'm Travis Bruce. See you guys next
That would
time.
be awesome.
Take care.